Welcome everyone. Welcome back to a new video. My name is Udeme and I'm a podcaster. The name of my podcast is All the Things We See. So yeah, I'll leave a link in the description for you guys to go check it out. And this channel is all about podcast recommendations, book recommendations, YouTube channel recommendations, Instagram recommendations. So yeah, let's get into it. And Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Udeme and I am a podcaster. I host All the Things We See podcast. I'm going to leave a link in the description to my podcast and to every other podcast that I'll be talking about in this video. So yeah, and I'll leave my Instagram handle as well somewhere here, I think. So yeah, let's get into the video. So I'm sure from the title that you can tell I'm going to be talking about some of my favorite podcasts that are hosted by Nigerian women. These ladies are doing amazing in the game and I am a fan and I stand. So I just thought to highlight them and just let people know about their podcast. So number one on my list has to be Tales of an African Princess in America. Dr. Z is such, I love her voice, it's so calming and so relaxed, and I think her husband is usually a co-host on the podcast. He's always a part of the podcast. So it's always very interesting to listen to their conversations, the seamless flow of it, and probably because they are married, so it's so easy for their conversations feel like banter, and you always go away with something. It's just so interesting and very entertaining. She talks a lot and interviews people in the healthcare sector as well. So because she's a doctor, so that is her the problem area that she addresses, and she just talks about normal things like having wedding fever and all of that good stuff. So yeah, that's one podcast that I will really recommend. Yeah, so that is the first one. The second one on my list has to be Passing Through by Neka Julia. That is what I call storytelling goals. Oh my goodness, the soundtracks, the sound effects rather, you feel like you're in the moment. It is so well produced and so, like, the first time I found out, shout out to Tina by the way from Instagram. She's the one that recommended that podcast to me. I love that podcast. Like, I sat down, I listened to 4 episodes at once. Like, it was so entertaining and so zen and peaceful and insightful. Okay, the podcast is about she basically travels. What she does is that she travels to different places. So when she travels to a place, she will call it, let's say she's going to London, she'll say passing through London. So she talks about the things that happened there, the wisdom she gained, like some insights from maybe conversations or like things that happened around that area, things that happened that she has learned from. So that is what the podcast, the whole idea of the podcast is about. So it is so, God, I love it so much. I'm going to say I love it so much in this video, so get ready for that. So yeah, that's the second one. Number 3 on my list has to be Mabi's Kitchen. Michelle Mabi is the first thing that comes to my mind. The first word that comes to my mind when I think of her is powerful, in like an authority, so to speak. Her voice is so firm, and so I can't express it the way I want to explain it. But basically, she just talks about different things that will help you in life as a person. In fact, when you hear the word Mabi on Instagram, she's all about food, cooking, just great conversations around the kitchen. That is what she is all about. She's really doing an amazing job. I really enjoy listening to her podcast. It's obvious that she has gone through and experienced and also learned from the things that she's talking about. So I enjoyed that podcast as well. Mavi's Kitchen, that's my third podcast. Number 4 on my list. Number 4 is the 25 podcast. So it's done by Oni Akumen, something like that. I will leave her name and the name of the podcast, and everything will be in the description. So that is the fourth podcast. I can't speak today. Podcast that I want to talk about. I think she has turned 25 or she's already 25. So I think the podcast was like a dedication or like as a result of that. So she interviews people who talk about the things they wish they knew or done, things they wish they had done at 25. And also her, from her own experience, she also chips in to also give her own input on these things, and it's very interesting and I have learned a lot, especially the interview she had with this lady. I've forgotten her name right now. Is it Rhonda, the lady that which she had not married earlier. I think she married at 26 or so. She left. I really enjoyed that podcast. It's very insightful and very like it makes you want to think back and take my like maybe I shouldn't be rushing. So yeah, I really enjoyed that podcast. So yeah, that is number 4. And so the last one, number 5, has to be the 20 somethings rant podcast by Jessica Fortune. Her podcast is for 20 somethings, as the name depicts. So basically, she interviews people who are in their 20 somethings and they talk about their experiences, and like it's almost like a learn as you go podcast. And then she also interviews 30 somethings who talk about the things they wish they had done in their 20 something. So yeah, and she also gives tips like, oh, okay, if you're looking some kind of side hustles like stay at home jobs that you can do and things like that. It's very educational. Yeah, that's the word, educational. So yeah, I really enjoy that podcast as well. So yeah, those are my 5 favorite podcasts from Nigerian women. And of course, I know that in this world of podcasting, it is very difficult to exhaust all the options. I know that I only know a few. So if you know more, please leave them in the comment section for me. I am always curious to find more podcasts that I enjoy listening to, and suggestions are welcome. So, and also let me know if you have any podcast that you want me, any other recommendations that you want me to make, and I will do that as well. So yeah, we've come to the end of the video. I don't know what's wrong with me. We've come to the end of the video. Thank you for tuning in and joining me today. Don't forget to check out my podcast, All the Things You See. Do not forget, very important, to subscribe to this channel. Hit that notification bell so that you get notified whenever I upload a new video, and of course like, yep, and share. Thank you so much for joining me today. It has been nice for me. So tell me how you felt. Did you enjoy? Was it helpful? And yeah, watch another video. Come on, I will put it somewhere here or here. Watch another video. I recommend podcasts on this channel. I recommend books, and I recommend. So yeah, thank you for watching and have an amazing day.